All right, what is going on, everybody? We are here to talk about the edge position, the edge rushers. I found this little article here on Rams Wire. Uh, Justin Hollins, our very own Justin Hollins, you remember him from last year. He was a vital piece in our edge defense. I believe he was injured relatively early on in the season and was kind of on IR for the majority of the year, but came back in time for the playoffs and definitely helped contribute in our Super Bowl win. He's really, real solid, plays opposite of Leonard Floyd, plays the run very well, and the guy was solid. We got him from Denver, I believe, and was happy when he came back. And I believe this year he will become even better. And he is pretty confident in our edge rushers and doesn't feel help is needed. So let's go ahead and take a look at this here. The LA Rams did what they could to retain Von Miller this offseason after acquiring him in a trade with the Denver Broncos mid-season, but he ultimately picked the Buffalo Bills in free agency. Them throwing $120 million his way was a big reason why. And when it all comes down to it, he just couldn't pass up the money. Which, on the one hand, I have to admit, it was a little annoying because Von Miller seemed he he talked about how we were going to run it back and this, that, and the other. That really it didn't really bother me. He was marketing himself, to the other team, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with what he did. It's just a little annoying, for him to say, yeah, we're going to run it back. And it was highly believed that he would return, but ultimately he went instead with the Bills, as you all know. And at the end of the day, I really can't blame him for it. $120 million is a lot of money, and it's very hard to turn that kind of money down. So I don't blame Vaughn for taking the money. At the end of the day, the mission was accomplished. We traded for him mid-season to add a very talented edge piece to our defense for our late season Super Bowl run, and we succeeded, as y'all know. So ultimately, despite having the pick, only having him for a few games, and giving up so many picks for him, it was a success. So I mean, we can look happily at that. We won the Super Bowl. you know, he helped us, and he did help us win the Super Bowl. So it's like I really can't be mad at him. And the mission was complete. So even though I would have liked him to return, don't get me wrong, I can't necessarily blame him, is what I'm getting at. But he did leave. And what that means is this departure left the Rams much thinner at outside linebacker. Leonard Floyd is going to be one of the starters. Yes, he is. I very much am a fan of Leonard Floyd. I like his hustle. I like his skill, his ability. I like how he seems to have a very good head on his shoulders. He's not a knucklehead. He's seems to be a very team-oriented guy, and he seems to, from all accounts, from what I've heard, like I've listened to, like the Rams insiders like Jordan Rodriguez, anyone else that's close to the Rams, they all say that he's a very team guy and he helps like the younger pass rushers, in practice. Like he helps them along, I guess, with like assignments, tips and tricks, things of that nature. So I like Leonard Floyd, and he's going to play well for us this year. And it's the other side that's kind of up for grabs. We Justin Hollins, who was another person we got from Denver, is going to be the starter there. Really liked him. Solid run defender, which is what we need, and definitely good pass rusher. We got Terrell Lewis, who who I mean, it says here Justin Hollins and Terrell Lewis are the top candidates to take Miller's spot. It's going to be Justin Hollins. He's going to be the starter. Terrell Lewis, who I've grown to be a fan of his, to be honest. I used to be kind of on the fence with him just because of his injury history. Whether or not that's fair, you can decide for yourself, but I was. But ultimately, I mean, dude, after that hit on Rob Gronkowski, y'all remember that week 3 of last year when we played the defending Super Bowl champions? They're not anymore, but back then they were. And Rob Gronkowski, excuse me, goes, I guess, across the middle, and Terrell Lewis blows him up. And it was one of my favorite plays in that entire game. That and Deshaun Jackson grabbing that long touchdown pass from Matthew, and Sean running like a damn fool down the sidelines, and high-fiving him in the end zone. Well, that was that game, right? I think that was that game. Was that the game where Sean was running? Or was that the San Francisco game? Or did he do it in both? Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I don't quite remember. But that Deshaun Jackson touchdown pass and Rob Gronkowski getting blown up were my favorite plays. And the man who did that was Terrell Lewis. So I would love to see more of that in 2022 from Terrell. The problem is he's had kind of this issue with his knee. And like I said, it's on some level I can feel for him. He has a kind of a chronic nagging injury, and I understand what that's like, and it's no fun, and I know he doesn't want to be injured, but the reality is I don't know if we can depend on him to play a full 17 games uninterrupted. It was interesting because the Rams went ahead and kind of had him on a snap count. If y'all remember, throughout the season, they integrated him in for a few plays, and I believe he really didn't even practice. Like in mid-season, he was taking days off. They were letting him have days off. So Sean and the coaching staff, I believe, feel highly of Terrell Lewis and what he can bring to the table. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. So he's definitely going to be a rotational player, and the man is jacked, and he hits real hard. So that's always good. And I think the goal, if we can just kind of keep him healthy until our playoff run and kind of unleash him, I feel like that would be the best kind of course of action in order to defend our title. But I do not believe he'll be starting for that reason. But we'll see. So let's continue on. Throw a trade or free agent signing should never be ruled out with Les and Sean. Yeah, you can expect to see that at some point. It may not be in the offseason here. We may go after someone during the season, before the trade deadline, or sign someone who maybe gets released after the teams flush out the roster. But I do believe they're going to, they're definitely going to have their eyes and ears open. And if an opportunity presents itself with a quality edge rusher, I believe Les and Sean are going to pounce. Who that may be, I do not know. But if that were to happen, I believe it's going to happen mid-season, not now in the off-season. Though we'll see. We'll see. All right, going on to this tweet here by Greg Beecham. This is a quote from Justin Hollins. He is quoted here saying, quote, "I don't think we need to go find anyone new. Nothing like that. It would be kind of crazy if I said we did anyway. I think we'll be just fine. We were fine before." This is Justin Hollins on the edge rushing group post Von Miller. And, you know, there is a lot of truth to what he's saying. I do agree with what he says somewhat. The problem is, as we were just speaking about, is the injuries and the injury prone players. You know, Justin Hollins, I do not believe he is considered a injury prone play. Well, here it says Hollins and Lewis are injury prone. I could not remember if Hollins was injury prone as labeled an injury prone player, but he is coming off a pretty, pretty semi-serious injury. So it's just, it's a shame because you just never know if it's going to be re-aggravated. So I think that's the fear when it comes to the depth of our edge rushers. And, edge rushers are important, man. So we need good quality ones throughout the year. And Obo's gone. I think he went with the Texans. And so as reserve players, we have Chris Garrett and Daniel Hardy to capitalize as role players. Now, here's the thing. Daniel Hardy, I don't even know if he'll make the roster. I think he's going to be a practice squad player, though he could prove me wrong. And I hope he does. It seems, he was a late round pick. It seems like he has a lot to learn. He has a lot to refine. I think Sean's going to want to coach him up for a little while before we see any action. But, Daniel could surprise us in camp. And it kind of forced Sean into a tough position here. But it is this man, Chris Garrett, who I would love to see be the primary backup to Justin Hollins or be a rotational player on that edge spot opposite of Leonard Floyd this upcoming season. And I believe that he will. He is a second-year player, also seventh-round pick from Concordian. I believe I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm kind of an idiot. So that sometimes I don't speak well, but he's from a small school, but he played very, very well, and I want to show a little bit of highlights. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the highlights from his first preseason game, from the Rams' first preseason game last year against the Oakland Raiders. He was seventh round pick 233. This is a great video from Ram House TV. Go ahead and subscribe to them if you would like. I enjoyed their video. I like what they did with the colors, and everything. And the highlight tape was good. I really liked it. So check them out. And we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this video here. So let's go ahead and open that here. It's Chris Garrett. Now, if y'all remember right here, this was right after Chris Garrett blew up the Oakland Raiders quarterback. And the starters, you got Aaron Donald, as you all know. He doesn't need an introduction. You got Jalen here. You got Sebastian, who kind of upset that we let him go, but it is what it is. Great games, played very well. I believe that's Ashawn. Look at that, the Hulkamania Ashawn there. And they were all going crazy, and they were all so happy to watch Chris Garrett completely annihilate that quarterback. Okay, and we're about to watch that here in a second. And the crazy thing is, if memory serves me, and I'm about 99% sure this is true, the Las Vegas Raiders, I believe they played like a lot of their starters, at least in the beginning part of this preseason game. I want to say the Raiders were our first preseason game, and they played maybe not all, but the majority of their starters. I think a lot of their O-linemen were starting O linemen. I could be wrong, but I do not think I am. And they could not handle Chris. They could not handle him. And Chris Garrett, he gets a sack like on his like second play from scrimmage. I just, oh dude, I was so jacked for this. I was so jacked for. Let's check it out. Okay, so there's Aaron. They're celebrating. This is after that hit. Okay, everyone's freaking out. Everyone's having a good old time. Look at that. Where's Chris? There he is. Look at him blowing that up. Look at him blowing up that run play. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. Look at him. 48. Number 4. I want to see that again. I want to see that again. I want to see that again. Hold on. Okay. So look at him. This wide receiver can't handle him. And he blows up the running back. Okay? Great stuff. Great stuff. Then, there he is right there. That O lineman can't handle him. And he kind of... Let me pause the video here. And he kind of... I guess this does count as a sack. I think Copeland helped clean it up. But it was Chris Garrett who made that play happen. Okay. Look at him. And is this... and the ball just kind of bounced off his helmet there. So now this is the play. This is the play I'm talking about. This is the play where this guy gets completely annihilated. Here's Chris Garrett right here. Okay, the left tackle is cannot handle him. And let's watch what happens. Boom! Look at that. And he fumbles the ball. He just gets completely annihilated. Look at that. He gets two. I want to watch that one more time. Hold on. This is great stuff by Ramhouse TV, by the way. I thoroughly enjoyed this video. Let's see. Okay, here we go. He's coming off the edge. And he's very, very quick in this game. That's what stood out. I remember this. I remember watching in this game just how quick off the ball he is, how explosive he is. And from what a lot of people who were fans of his in his college days, they're saying he's very, very quick. He has that quick step. Boom! Look at that. Annihilated. Annihilated. And they fumbled the ball too. Get that. Yeah, 2 sacks. I love that. I love this photo right here. 1 tackle, forced fumble, 1 pass deflected, like hit him on the noggin there. But yeah, this is a Ramhouse TV. Go ahead and give them a subscription. This is their video, and I really liked it. It was a really good video. It's Chris Garrett is going to be... I really hope Sean... And I know they will. I know Sean is going to... I want them to take a really hard look at Chris Garrett because he is my prediction to be the primary backup rotational edge rusher behind Justin Hollins, because I believe Justin Hollins is going to open as the starter. Okay? As much as I would love to see Terrell Lewis play a lot more, he has the knee issue, so it's a question mark, you know. But Chris Garrett, I think Chris Garrett, if he gets the opportunity, can potentially, whether it's mid-season or at some point next year, can take over the starting role. That's before. Granted, that was only 1 game. He's only been with us a year. But I feel... I just... You know how sometimes you just have a good feeling about somebody? You know what I mean? Sometimes you just know. Chris Garrett, I kind of just know he's going to be a good player for us. I really do. Now I would love to see him more this year, and I believe that we will. I believe that we will, and I believe that our edge position is going to be good. Now, I do, however, feel we will probably pounce and sign a free agent at some point if the opportunity presents itself. I do believe that'll happen, especially if one of these guys gets injured. Knock on table that no one gets injured, but yeah, I just feel like we'll be all right, and I like the guys we have. I am very much open to getting someone. Sorry, Justin, but it's good to have that insurance, and I really want to see more from Chris Garrett. And I want to see more from Terrell Lewis too, man. But and I'm rooting for Terrell, but you got to stay healthy. I know that's kind of out of your control, but it is what it is. But that's gonna do it for now. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and as always, go Rams.